contents has been existing and still exists on the YouTube platform, but in today's video, I'll be talking about a gore content that most people deem disturbing, terrible, and with allegedly a poorly written script. And in that case, let's talk about Terrible Mouse. Disclaimer: this video showcases graphics that include gore and quite disturbing contents, so click with caution or click off if you won't be comfortable. So what is Terrible Mouse? Terrible Mouse is a dark, surreal animated horror series created by Gudian that has garnered a whole lot of attention for its unsettling themes and unusual storytelling. This series is all about a cute but murderous mouse character, portrayed as a nurse named Lorna. Lorna is a mutated mouse who lures children to a fake hospital, tortures them, and even brutally unalive them. At first glance, Lorna appears to be friendly. However, beneath her cheerful demeanor lies a sinister side. So basically, speaking of the storyline of this series and backstory of Lorna, Lorna was once a lab mouse that was experimented on, and she eventually escaped, leading her to develop hatred for humans, particularly children. Allegedly, it is implied that after Lorna's escape from the lab, she observed kids hurting animals for fun, which made her believe that humans, especially children, are cruel, and this whole traumatic experience twisted her mind and instilled a desire for revenge. She decided to create a fake hospital where she lures and unalived children for fun and revenge. I watched the first episode and all I can say is, this is definitely not for kids or people who are sensitive to gore contents or graphic violence. Because there's massive gore, graphic violence, and unsettling visuals that is intended for a more mature audience. This series have gotten a lot of criticism recently from a lot of individuals on the internet and also a lot of hearts too, and I'm here to provide my unsolicited but unbiased opinion about this series. First of all, let's talk about the target audience of this series. Individuals spoke up about the effect this series could potentially have on younger viewers, and I can vouch that this will most definitely traumatize a child's mind. The amount of gore in this series is unimaginable. But then again, while the animations are cartoon-like, they contain themes of violence and horror that may not be suitable for younger audiences. It is visible that there are lots of trigger warnings on this series which indicate that it is most definitely not for a kid, as it says 18+. The series feature quite disturbing themes, like torture and brutal death in the worst way possible, most especially involving kids, which is understandably concerning, controversial, and upsetting for many. Secondly, let's talk about the claims of sexual abuse or sexual content in the series. In a particular section of this series, Lorna the mouse is seen sitting on top kids, and it was quickly depicted as Essa due to the suggestive position she was seen sitting on the kids. It was indeed disturbing and unsettling, like seeing a humanoid mouse character sitting on a kid in that suggestive pose. But then again, from another point of view, it could also be a part of the absurd violence aspect of the animation and not essay. If there was no sexual context or framing, then it wouldn't typically be considered as essay or anything sexual, especially in a horror setting involving massive graphic violence as this. Most likely, it's just a shock horror or unsettling and disturbing imagery, but might not be essay or anything sexual. It depends on how it's seen. Every individual's lenses aren't the same, and I feel like it's something the creator should have labeled or put as part of the trigger warning if it was, as ESSA is a really sensitive topic. Another issue with this series is the glorification of violence, as it's just a repetition of Lorna brutally executing more kids again and again. But then again, the series is not over and there are still more episodes to come, as the creator stated. I barely flinch when watching a horror movie, but I basically don't like or enjoy watching horror contents in general. Even if this series is really creepy, unsettling, and disturbing, some people appreciate and enjoy it, while others don't. I don't really like this series, but that doesn't mean I hate it either. And this is not me supporting anything, but I'm simply stating my opinions about it. Like I said, this series is definitely for a more mature audience, and the creator made sure to place trigger warnings to avoid younger audiences from clicking on it. All in all, not everyone loves it, and not everyone hates it either. So view it if you love it and skip it if you hate it. That's all I have to say about Terrible Mouse series. Let me know if there are any points missing, and please write down your thoughts about this topic in the comments section.